Hi Jason, so we're just going to look at the RACP. I know you asked us to do a brief check. We do a full report on this. It's quite a long process, about 3 hours if you wanted the really detailed one, which is called an RACP check and report, which includes the internal bore scope camera inspections underneath the rear seat panel and underneath the boot floor panel, and a comprehensive vehicle inspection of the rest of the vehicle. But I know that you wanted us just to do a brief check, so we're going to have a quick look. The RACP, as you probably know, stands for a rear axle carrier panel. Some people call that a subframe panel, and it's the item that's at the back of the car. It's a big panel, goes from the left-hand side shock absorber to the right-hand side shock absorber, fits around the curvature of that boot floor, and then finishes behind the fuel tank, which is about there. And it's got a big job to do. It holds all of the mounting points for the rear axle, well, 8 out of 10 of the mounting points anyway. Therefore, there's a lot of load energy that goes through that panel, especially when the accelerator is used. So you've got loading and unloading energy acting upon a sheet metal panel. And that therefore can create fatigue. And when metal panels fatigue, they unfortunately can crack, which is quite common and why the E46 is so known for that issue. So the most common area to look for this on is next to the left rear mounting point, which is this one here. And the common place that they crack is in this area here. And unfortunately, I'm sorry to say that there is a crack present just on the left of my finger there. We're going to see this a bit better now, because what we're going to do is clear the dirt off of the underside, which is naturally occurring dirt, but that line there is a crack. So we're going to do some cleaning and then we'll revisit with a video now. Okay, so now we've cleaned off some of that naturally occurring dirt. We can see that that line we were looking at is still present there, so that obviously is the crack. That's exactly where they do crack, on the fold of the RACP. So looking at this is the horizontal plane, which is sort of front to back of the vehicle. That crack there in length, just to give you an idea, an estimate, is probably about 30 millimeters long, but it's not finishing there, as all E46 cracks do. They travel round the corner. So this is the bit we were looking at, but it actually carries on going up this vertical face up here. You can see if you follow this line, and it turns 90 degrees and then starts going up this line behind my finger. So that vertical section that I can see from here is probably about 50, maybe even 60 millimeters long. So you're anywhere between about 80 and 90 millimeters long, that hairline crack, which is traveling up that slope just up there. So it's certainly not terrible. We've seen loads worse than that, but obviously it's not in its early stages. It's been growing. It doesn't quite happen very quickly, these cracks, so it's obviously been growing for a while if it's 80 or 90 millimeters long. Plus, on the other side, well, the edge of that corner, so this is the left rear, there's the shock absorber there. This is the edge of the RACP, where it's then spot welded to the wheel arch panel up here, and it's spot welded in 3 locations. There's 1, 2, and the third one is down just out of view there. That spot weld is definitely broken, that's erupted, and it's, sorry about the camera, just trying to find you a better position. Yeah, so it's like a perfect circle of rust, which is the corrosion of spot weld, and the seam sealer is sort of blown apart there, and that is another broken spot weld there. Sometimes we can see from the side panel up on this area that there's some corrosion present, which suggests that the panel is moving slightly. Very small split in the seam sealer with a bit of corrosion in it, but nothing too serious. And also I've looked around underneath, and you can see that there's a crack as well next to, coming out of the offside front subframe mount. So still at the rear of the axle, but it's separated into 4 bushes: left rear, left front, right rear, right front. And this right front one, harder to see because there's so many pieces of equipment in the way, but I'm going to try and zoom in. I'm going to try and focus the camera on the RACP at the back, which is just about doing. And then behind this black handbrake cable that I'm moving now, if you keep your eye, it's hard to actually show you, but sort of behind my finger now, have a look when I pull this down. Oh no, it's not just quite coming into view, but there is a crack that I'm able to see with my eyes, which the camera just can't get quite into the angle, but you might be able to see it. It's hidden now, and now it's in view. That's a crack present there, coming out of the offside front bush as well. So you definitely do have early signs, or cracks present on the RACP. Up to you how you want to go about that. You might just want to monitor them and just get them checked every now and again, especially if the car is not an everyday car and not being used too much. they don't grow at a very fast rate. So that's why we're able to say these have been there for a while, growing steadily. And therefore, if you're sensible, you can monitor it. Other than that, let us know if you want to go for the RACP check and report, which is a highly detailed report, which includes removing items and also interior, so that we can get underneath the seat panel and do the borescope camera inspections, because quite commonly we will find internal problems with the inside of the vehicle, which are just as serious as the underside and do need to be known about. So yeah, so it's not the best news, but it's better to be armed with the knowledge, so at least you can do something or plan to do something about it as you go forward with your ownership on this M3.